Honourable Speaker, so I thank the Honourable Tuisawa for the question. I think I had answered a similar question on Tuesday, but nevertheless, Honourable Speaker, sir, we have already set sail and basically we're not looking back. The ultimate aim, Honourable Speaker, of opening the international borders has been and will continue to be about creating opportunities for ordinary Fijians and restoring livelihoods for thousands of Fijians who for years have actually depended on the tourism sector. I think we all know that. This was also made possible through well-established partnerships and enhanced health and safety protocols that we put in place and effective vaccination coverage. And that's so important, Honourable Speaker. The KFG Commitment Program has contributed immensely to lifting visitor confidence also and gradually restoring safe mobility for the tourism industry. Our visitor numbers, Honourable Speaker, in the last 2 months are indicative of how resilient the industry has been in solidifying and for the reopening, whilst not everyone actually opened in December, Honourable Speaker. The overwhelming majority of our stakeholders were ready to safely reopen. The CFC has actually given us greater confidence to resume travel, whilst ensuring the health and safety of our travellers remain paramount. To date, Honourable Speaker, sir, we have over 2,200 businesses that are registered under the CFC compared to 1,741 in December 2021. This is an increase of 26%. Other notable achievements, Honourable Speaker, we have 23,226 visitors were received in the month of December, which was 73.5% of the total arrivals for 2021. 92% of the total December arrivals were mainly from our key source markets. That was from Australia and the United States of America, sir. Month of December also, as I had mentioned and alluded to earlier on during the week, so we collected the highest monthly revenue collection of $190 million by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services, and since Fiji's first COVID-19 case in March 2020. We constantly review also, Honourable Speaker, and update our travel partner countries, and now we have 57 countries added to this particular list, and the most recent addition is being People's Republic of China and Hong Kong. And in terms of forecasted tourism numbers, Honourable Speaker, for March and April, particularly the low seasons in our tourism calendar, we also almost recorded 50% of December arrival figures on the books already. So more tourism properties, accommodation properties will also be open for full operations from March and onwards, Honourable Speaker. During the course of opening up in late December and January, Honourable Speaker, we were challenged with the highly transmissible Omicron variant, but we weren't deterred and remained steadfast about our reopening plans. And though we had some resource constraints and exhausted staff, we learned how to best deal with the Omicron variant and tested all our COVID-safe protocols. Now we know better how to deal with adverse situations, Honourable Speaker. Further to this, Honourable Speaker, you must remember Tropical Cyclone Kodi also inflicted its fair share of challenges on the tourism industry. But despite all of these hurdles, we continue to remain resilient, Honourable Speaker, sir. There were stories of fire trucks and four-wheel drives providing transportation for our tourists in flooded roads to catch their flights, and hotel staff transporting people and members of the public assisting where possible. But that's just us being Fijians, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, there were some issues in regards to non-compliance also. We've had that with respect to our COVID-19 protocols. In the downtime, also our COVID-safe ambassadors have conducted surprise monitoring visits and addressed these non-compliance issues. The program was introduced last year and will continue to be instrumental to advocate adherence to the COVID-safe measures. We are returning to normalcy, as recently announced by the Honourable Acting Prime Minister, and a number of COVID-19 related restrictions, including the national curfew, removal of restrictions on social gatherings, allowing businesses except high-risk natured ones and public services vehicles to operate at full capacity, and the lifting of the mandatory requirement on the KFG app, the QR code, and the VaxCheck tool. We have eased entry requirements also, Honourable Speaker, in terms of COVID-19 testing for travelers from travel partner countries. Now, all travelers departing from travel partner countries have an added option of providing a rapid antigen test 24 hours prior to departure as an accepted testing requirement. This will make holiday costs lesser for our visitors and consequently makes Fiji a convenient destination to travel to. All these efforts have generally brought about optimism in the tourism industry and promising return to normalcy in our daily lives. A breath of fresh air, a weight of confidence, a reduction in administrative burden, and one less thing to worry about. So basically close, sir, by just saying that the government works also. We've had a tremendous amount of consultation with all the stakeholders, the Tourism Fiji, the hoteliers, the national airline, the transport or experience providers, the Ministry of Health and all our health officials, and we will continue to do so to protect and promote the best interests of the industry. I thank you for the opportunity to answer the question.